Hello and welcome back to our little pop ballad writing session. And today we're going to look at a pre-chorus, but first off, let's just hear what we made last time. Great. So today we're writing the pre-chorus, and the pre-chorus is like the link between your verse and your chorus. Now, not all songs have a pre-chorus, and it is really an optional thing, but I like to put it in, especially now. Firstly, because our verse is not that long, so to make it a bit more substantial, it's good to write a pre-chorus. But at the same time, this series is for you to get ideas what you could do if you wanted to write songs, or if you're writing songs, new tactics. So why not show you as many forms and as many tactics as possible? So to write a pre-chorus, what I like to do when I'm writing a pre-chorus is, we have this chord E-7 with a flat fifth, which would normally lead over to a D major, right? But I don't want to start with D major again, because then it might, sound like you're going into a new verse. So instead I'm using a B-7, and that's because the notes of a B-7 is D, F sharp, A, and B, which means, those first three notes, D, F sharp, and A, those are the same notes of a D major chord, and then that B is just adding extra, and it's also the bass tone. So it sounds the same. No, it doesn't sound the same, it sounds very different, but because of the same notes being there, your brain can make the relation. You get the idea that they have they have a relation, the two of them. So yeah, I'm using a B here, and then last time we started by going up a third. Now we don't want to do that, because then it's just starts sounding the same. But to have being sort of the same, we're going down a third. So we go from B to G, and actually what I'm gonna do is I'm going to an E minor with a G in the bass, because E minor is not a third down, that's actually like a fourth up, or fifth down if you will, but that G is the thing that goes down a third. So we have a bass that goes here, here from B to G. And moving on, we can go to a A7, because again, then that's a second up. It's the same as we did last time. Last time we did a third up and then a second up, and we do a third down and a second up. So again, it sounds different, but it's a relation to what we had before, because it's the same intervals. And let's just have it there to start with now, because this is like the end of the verse. I'm just going to keep the same sort of arrangement, that same arpeggio arrangement, but the notes are different. So even though it's the same groove that goes on, it's very clearly something new that's happening. There we go. And now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna put in a double line over here, and that just to indicate that my pre-chorus is going to start there. So I'm going to make something new down here, and what I'm gonna do is actually a little something. I don't know if it has a name, but it's something that I like to do. I'm gonna go from D to A with a C sharp and the bass to G, and that's just actually I'm gonna go to G at 2 because we already used that chord so much. And that's just, you know, the primary chord over to the 5th over to the 4th. That's very standard. But that's not the thing. The thing is, now if you write the bass notes of these tones, you start on this D, right? Then you move down a 2nd, and then you move down a 4th. That's just the bass notes. Then what I'm gonna do here in this note over is, firstly, I'm keeping this A, just like, you know, last time we had that A in the right hand. That kept being there over all the chords. Now we have it just in the left hand. And you remember, you know, we had over here, we had a start note, then we had moved down a 2nd, and then moved down a 3rd. We're going to do the same over here. So we have a start note here, then we move down a 2nd, and then move down a 3rd. Sorry, 4th. I thought something was wrong with what I said there. Moving down the 4th here. So yeah, we have our start note, we move a down a 2nd, we move down a 4th. We have our start note, we move down a 2nd, we move down a 4th. So it's the same intervals, so it sort of becomes, you know, like a reaction to itself. Not in like opposite direction reaction, but like an echo of itself almost. Maybe that's a better word, like an echo of itself. Now, because we already have these 2 notes playing at the same time here, I don't want to have more notes playing at the same time, but, you know, then I only have like this space to create in a picture. That would always be like too quick. So instead I'm creating a backbeat up here, and that simply means, you know, that, you know, in the bass it plays on beat, it means it plays on 1 and plays on 3, and here it plays backbeat, which means it plays on 2 and plays on 4. And I think it's nice. Now let's just hear what we've made so far. I think I actually forgot to play the first part, so let's just hear it now. Great. So now we need a melody. And what I like to do is, actually, I like to start off the same way as I did in the verse. So here in the verse we had first this pause and a pause, and then a single, you know, quick A. And that might not be the most interesting start, but let's mimic that, because then we get the feeling that, you know, that it, again, it's in relation to the verse, but it's still something new. Because of the chord change and such. And I don't want to go to an A again, because then it would be too much the same. Instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down, just, you know, by seconds down to this E. So yeah, first moves down to 2nd, and the next moves down to 2nd. Just keep on moving 2nd. And actually, because I've moved so much 2nd, I want to just jump down here to the B down here, then jump back up to an E. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna keep my focus on this E all the time, right? So, you know, slowly went down to an E, then I jumped down, but I jumped back up to an E, then I can go down to a D, but go back to an E. Oh, shoot. And now I want to create a syncopation, again, because I don't want to have my stresses on 1. So I'm creating a syncopation here. And actually, it's just because we have a fairly, you know, in straight intensity through these 2 measures. So let's just have this measure, sorry about that, have this measure be very, yes, it's like empty. So only thing I'm gonna do here is just go back to this E, because, and then make a syncopation down to the D again, so I don't make stresses on the 1 here. Now what I'm gonna do, because actually let's just hear this first. Yeah, I like that, and that F sharp, because it doesn't really fit in with our A7, so it's like it begs to be continued. At least that's the feeling I get, you know. It sort of leaves you in the air, and that's good, because, you know, that's not where our our phrase really ends. Our phrase ends over here. But yeah, to end it off, I've been very, avoidant of follow the beat because, of our syncopations and such. But now I actually want to go in and follow the beat, and I just have 2 notes right there that just follow the beat to, indicate now something interesting happening, and it catches the ear because you've been so used to all the syncopation. Suddenly you just have things that come directly on the beat. And I'm gonna put a staccato on the first one just to, make it sound even more, on the beat really, because it's just like a short hit. And then I'm gonna go down to a G because that's the 7th of the dominant chord that we are in, so that sounds nice. And then I'm gonna go down to the 6th, and that's because the 6th in G at 9 works really well, because then it becomes like a G6-9 chord, which works nice. But since it's only the melody singing, I wouldn't really say it, but it sounds really good. So let's just hear it, what we have so far. Now we need some lyrics. I won't go into as much details as we did last time, because firstly, I don't need to point out how to find the stresses once again, and secondly, I was told it was a bit too long, so I'm gonna try and make it shorter. But I still want to write the lyrics with you, because I'm improvising all this. I haven't written a song beforehand or anything. I'm making this up as I'm presenting it to you. So I think it's nice that you see the entirety of the creation, and I know that lyrics are probably the thing that I'm the worst at, especially when I have to improvise them. But I think it's nice. And what I'm gonna do here, because we focused so much on similes last time, I think I'm gonna just continue and simply make this as like a simile song. So I'm alright, cause love is like is the big simile word. As soon as there's a like, it's most certainly a simile. Love is like those unfunny jokes, but still, that's an L too much. Still, you seem to laugh. Yeah, because love is like those unfunny jokes, but still you seem to laugh. I like that line. That's funny. That's funny, trying to convince myself that I can improvise good lines. But yeah, let's hear it. Boom. I think that works nice. I'd hope we could look at a chorus, but I think we've been using too much time already, so let's do that another day. Thank you for watching and listening, and I hope you liked it. If you did, thumbs up. If you have any questions or want to say anything, please write a comment. And if you like to stay up to date and see how the song evolves, subscribe. And remember to check out part 1. If you haven't checked out part 1 and tried to listen to part 2, you might be a bit confused as what's happening. But yeah, goodbye.